Real quick, before I begin today's video, I just want to give off this little mention real quick. Just not too long ago, I actually got to help contribute with, of course, YouTuber Waxworld, since he's actually posting a video very recently, which is an entire retrospective on, of course, one of my friends and fellow collaborators, Treyboy54. It was a whole lot of fun to work on, and I'm really happy with the video now that it's already out. And if you haven't already seen it, I highly suggest you go check it out right now. I'll be sure to provide the link to the video down in the description box below, as well as, of course, a card somewhere in the video, and, of course, at the end card at the end of the video for sure. So yeah, if you got the time, I say highly, I do highly say that you should definitely check it out for sure. It was a ton of fun to work on, and yeah, big special thanks to Waxworld for letting me contribute to that video for sure. So with that being said, let's get right to it. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with, well, a very special edition of course, my thoughts videos for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, I've decided to do this video because I've actually been thinking about this for a long time, and I know exactly what you're thinking. Now that this year's about to come to a close, am I gonna do pretty much my list of my favorite movies for 2024? Actually, yes, I am. In fact, I've already got that list taken care of, so I'm hoping to actually work that out and finally get it out for all of you guys. So yeah, don't worry, it is on its way, and of course, the best part, it is definitely coming out on New Year's Eve, as expected, so I'm really excited for that, and well, that will be followed up with, of course, pretty much the movies I'll be looking forward to seeing for 2025 after the hang for sure. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see the hang going on for sure. But I figure for today's video, I've decided to do something a little different for sure. Yeah, I am still gonna do a full-on list, yes, but unlike the two that I've mentioned, which I'll get out right around afterwards, this list I've been thinking about putting together for a long time because I've never really delved into something like this entirely. So yeah, and of course, with the past several lists, I've actually talked about some of the best for sure. But I guess for this list, we're gonna go the exact opposite for sure. And what do I mean by that? Well, I guess for this list, I guess it is a little unexpected for sure. I'm gonna be counting down some of the movies that I did cover in my thoughts videos that I hate the most for sure. So yeah. Now, to be fair, I'm not talking about the ones that I think are so bad they're good or just run-of-the-mill bad for sure, no. These ones I'm going to be talking about in this list are the ones that just makes me cringe by far. Just by thinking about or talking about these movies makes me want to pretty much punch someone in the face oh yeah, or plenty of other stuff that you could imagine. These are the kind of movies that just really get under my skin a ton. Even looking back when I actually talked about those movies, I can't help but get physically angry by far because of how much I hate them for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I figure I'm gonna do for this list. And for disclosure, if you like any of these movies I'm gonna be talking about, that is fine. Yeah, that doesn't make you a bad person by all means, so you can like whatever you can like for sure. But these movies I'm going to be talking about really do get under my skin for sure. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to clear up for sure before I begin. But hey, I guess on the bright side, right before I'll actually get myself happy again with, of course, talking about the movies I really do enjoy. Hopefully, I think this list will be a really nice warm-up before we can get right on to the real deal for sure. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't waste any more time, and I think I might as well get right to it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and count down, well, I guess, if anything, much like the past few lists, I've decided to make it a top 12 for sure, So yeah, there's a lot for me to go through, so I might as well get right to it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and count down the top 12 reviewed... yeah, I can't even speak today. But yeah, fuck it. So yeah, let's go ahead and count down the top 12 worst movies I've ever reviewed in my thoughts video. So yeah, and I guess the title card that you just saw will definitely pretty much get you the idea. So yeah, pretty much if anything, get your cringe hats on because, well, we're in for a wild ride. So yeah, with that being said, let's get right to it. Number 12. Disney's live-action remake on Pinocchio. Yeah, I guess it's no big surprise on, of course, that front because, well, where the hell do I begin with, of course, this one by a far and yeah, I guess I made no big surprise that if you have seen my thoughts videos, I do have a love-hate relationship with the Disney live-action remakes for sure. There are some that I actually really do enjoy for sure, while most of the majority of the time that I actually find myself split down the middle with, of course, most of them for sure. But I guess in terms of the ones I hate, yeah, I guess there's rarely any for me to go through. But I guess Pinocchio is definitely the main subject on the hangout by far, and yeah, given to what I've actually seen, I really hate this movie to a core for sure. Yeah, but I mean, if anything, I really do love the original Pinocchio for sure. I think it's actually pretty much a timeless classic, and definitely pretty much one of the great ones from Disney back in the day for sure. And just by seeing this remake alone, it just really gets under my skin for sure. I mean, yeah, they really didn't do anything that great for sure, and I really hate this movie to a core. Yeah, I guess if anything, pretty much visually it's really underwhelming from what I can gather. Robert Zemeckis is, of course, not on his A game with, of course, this one, and of course you have Tom Hanks just yucking everything up for sure, so... Whew, so yeah. I guess even to this day, I still hate this movie by far, and yeah, I think I'm better off rewatching the original Pinocchio for sure. And if you think it couldn't actually get any worse, just wait until the Snow White remake with Rachel Zegler comes out. Yeah, I can agree with a lot of people in saying that movie's gonna bomb big time, but we'll have to wait and see, so. But yeah, needless to say, I guess in regards to the Disney live-action remakes, yeah, Pinocchio is definitely the one that I hate for sure, so yeah, next one. Number 11. The Exorcist Believer. Man, how can you go any lower after Exorcist 2 and the 2 prequels to The Exorcist? I mean, what the hell is up with that for sure? I mean, how could you go that low for sure? Yeah, The Exorcist is, of course, a well-known horror classic back in the day, and I guess if anything in terms of the sequels, well, I guess the closest thing we actually did get to a good Exorcist sequel is Exorcist 3. At least that had a whole lot more effort put into it for sure, and I guess in regards to Exorcist Believer, yeah, I definitely say this is pretty much one that I absolutely hate for sure. I mean, yeah, how can David Gordon Green, who directed the Halloween trilogy that we got in recent years, actually stoop this low and, of course, trying to do the same thing with Exorcist by far? I mean, yeah, given to what I've actually seen by far, I really can't stand this movie by far. I think I will give it credit that it wants to try and do something that will help recapture the love and the spirit of the Exorcist for sure, but most of the majority of the time it actually gets absolutely wasted for sure. It's, yeah, pretty much of anything, it has a lot of good ideas from what I'm actually seeing in the trailers for sure, and just when I think it's actually gonna go that route, they completely waste it for sure. I mean, how could you do that? How could you do that for sure? So, but yeah, I guess either way, I really couldn't stand The Exorcist Believer by far. I did have high hopes, and I'm kind of hoping that it would probably be a pretty much a redemption arc for, of course, the Exorcist sequels that we actually got, and might actually give us something as great as the original for sure, but we never got it from what I can gather, and oh boy. And yeah, I guess if anything, pretty much, given for the fact that Blumhouse actually did try their best to make it look good, yeah, they really worked on their A game for sure, and, well, I think I know a lot of people couldn't stand the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that came out a few weeks afterwards, but here's the thing. Like I said, I actually don't mind the Five Nights at Freddy's movie entirely. I definitely do think it's a decent flick for sure, and, well, I guess in comparison to Five Nights at Freddy's and Exorcist Believer, pretty much a whole lot more thought and care has been put into Five Nights at Freddy's more than Exorcist Believer, so yeah, I guess I can stomach Freddy Fazbear more than two girls being possessed by the devil for sure, so, oh yeah, really hate Exorcist Believer by far, and for those who are wondering, yes, I did hear the news that Mike Flanagan is currently working on a new Exorcist movie by far, so hopefully I think he might give us something good with, of course, this one. I mean, he did it with Dr. Sleep, so maybe he might do the same thing with this, so. But yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see. But until then, next movie. Number 10. Dolittle. Damn it, I guess I cannot escape Robert Downey Jr. in being an absolute crap for sure. I mean, yeah, I guess with what I've actually seen, I don't know what was going on with, of course, Dolittle for sure. I mean, I guess if anything, the idea for Dr. Dolittle actually does have a whole lot of pretty much nice and unique ideas for a nice movie by far. But I don't know what the hell was going on when they were making this film for sure. I mean, yeah, I guess given to what I've actually seen, I really don't think pretty much they really put in something creative with Dolittle for sure. I think pretty much, if anything, it really is an absolute disappointment by far because, if anything, I think I wasn't really fascinated with most of course, the writing for sure. I do kind of thought the visuals and the effects really don't correspond quite well for sure, and even some of the jokes, I have to say, are basically not funny for sure. Like, yeah, like, of course, pretty much one good example is, of course, someone actually pretty much the main bad guy actually pretty much being insulted by Dolittle because of his chin, and one of the guards actually said, "It is a magnificent chin, sir." Like, how is that supposed to be funny? I mean, being insulted over your chin? What? How is that supposed to be funny? So, but yeah, I could go on and on with everything that's wrong with this movie by far, but you know me, it actually would take the whole entire video for sure, so I'm not even gonna bother, so, whew, yeah. But yeah, I guess if anything, I guess there is a lot of wasted talent and potential with, of course, Dolittle by far, and I really couldn't stand on what they actually did for sure, and to say that I absolutely hate this movie is, of course, a bit of an understatement for sure, and I will have to say pretty much some effort was put into it just fine, but I think it might have been overshadowed by the stuff that I absolutely hate for sure, so there's that, so, next one. Number 9. The Crow. Man, I guess, given to what I've actually seen, yeah, I know I didn't have a good time actually seeing pretty much this movie around the time it came out for sure, and if you have seen my thoughts video for sure, it definitely does show, and yeah, I guess if anything, from what I can remember, I really do have a strong love for the Brandon Lee version by far. I mean, yeah, he was killed on set when they made it, yes, but he did actually gave one hell of a performance for sure, and most of the sequels that we got sometime afterwards really didn't do it justice for sure. And I guess for this remake that we actually got, it is definitely on the same level for sure. I really do think this film is massively boring from what I can remember by far. And yeah, pretty much, if anything, I think it definitely deserves that title of being boring, hands down. I really don't think there is a lot of creativity put into it to make it all the more great for sure. And yeah, I don't know what was going on when Bill Skarsgård is, of course, on board with, of course, this one for sure. Yeah, I think it seems like he seems as disinterested as we were when we all saw it for sure. So yeah, I think the way they actually pretty much disrespected the original source material and the original movie pretty much 100% well for sure. Like, how could you do that for sure? So, whew, boy. Yeah. It's fucking end times with, of course, the Crow by far. And yeah, I guess if anything, I really know hands down it is, of course, a boring one to watch for sure. And yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the movie was going for when it came out, but yeah, either way, it wanted it to be boring, and that's what we got. A pretty boring remake all the way, so... Number 8. Artemis Fowl. Man, if you thought Disney's live-action remake on Pinocchio was bad enough, well, it looks like this movie is so bad. It is, of course, taking off of Disney Plus, and maybe I think that is a good thing they took it off from there, because I don't think I can stomach any more of course, this movie by far, so yeah, I guess if anything, Artemis Fowl really is a pretty much a terrible one by far. I think with, of course, what they actually did from what I can gather, yeah, I guess if anything, it really is such a terrible one to watch, and we knew for the fact that this movie was in trouble ever since the second trailer just dropped. I almost didn't want to believe it for a second, but after seeing this movie, I guess it all makes sense from there. I really don't think this film really did any justice by far. I think I guess if anything, yeah, I don't know what was going on when he actually made this movie by far. I mean, just everything from, of course, the terrible story, sloppy writing, bad acting, and even some misguided direction from Kenneth Branagh. Like, what on earth was going on, Kenneth Branagh? Since when did you actually lose your touch by, of course, this movie for sure? Whew. Oh boy. Yeah, I guess if anything, I think I know the original book from what I can gather. I do hear it gets a whole lot better for sure, and I haven't actually met someone who actually is a fan of the original book by far. So yeah, if anything, if the original book is much better, then good on you if you ask me for sure. In fact, I'm pretty sure the author would definitely side with us on how poorly made this movie was for sure. And yeah, like I said, it turned out to be so bad from what I can gather. It was, of course, taking off of Disney Plus sometime later. So to that I say, thank God. Number 7. Harold and the Purple Crayon. Do I need to go on and on how much I hate this movie by far? Oh boy. Yeah, I know I didn't have a good time when I actually saw this movie as part of my double feature with Trap. But I guess if anything, I would much rather see Trap again rather than seeing this flick by far. So yeah, you heard right there, folks. I hate this movie so much that I'd much rather go back to M. Night Shyamalan for sure. And well, I guess to be honest, I think I knew going into this movie when I first saw the trailers, I didn't have much high hopes with, of course, this one by far. Like, I really don't have any idea on what they were thinking when they actually put this one together. And from my understanding, the original book, from what I could gather, is actually quite fascinating and has a whole lot going for. And And of course, let's not forget to mention the TV show to which I didn't actually see around the time. Actually did take liberties from the original book for sure, and actually did something creative with it for sure. So yeah, and I guess if anything, I think they do the same thing with the movie from what I can gather. I mean, just the original book alone does have a lot of great possibilities for a really nice animated feature for kids for sure. That alone, you can do something creative for sure. But the way they actually went for, with of course what they got with this film, it's pretty much the exact opposite by far. And yeah, and I guess if anything, I really do love Zachary Levi, and I've seen him in plenty of good stuff for sure. So what on earth is he doing, playing the title character, and of course this movie by far, and oh boy. But yeah, I guess if anything, I really don't like what they actually did with the, pretty much with of course this movie by far, and yeah, I guess if anything, I think I know one person, pretty much, who went to see it with me, did kind of enjoy it, but I mean, no disrespect, if anything, but I guess you clearly don't understand my own thoughts for sure, so oh boy, yeah, I could go on and how much I hate Harold and the Purple Crayon as a movie for sure. But then again, we will take all day for sure, and yet, if I ever do pretty much see someone actually pretty much go up to my face and say that I'm wrong on what I thought about this movie, well, I guess if anything, I think I would pretty much take the Purple Crayon and just toss it down to the ground and smash it into pieces for sure. That's how much I hate this movie by far, so. But yeah, as expected, I was right when I actually knew right away this movie was gonna suck, and yeah, it tanked pretty hard. It bombed. Again, I have to say, thank God for that. Number 6. Morbius. Yeah, I guess if anything, we're actually talking about Morbius again on this list for sure, and well, I guess if there's anything, if there's one good thing I actually did get out of this movie, well, it did give us the good old classic meme, it's Morbin time, so yeah, that I can give this movie credit for, but the rest, yeah, it is of course an absolute suckfest, no pun intended, so, but yeah, I guess I give it to what I've actually seen. I think pretty much taking everything with what they actually did with this movie and actually trying to pretty much incorporate a lesser-known Spider-Man villain for sure to actually make this movie. Yeah, that alone I think is of course massively sloppy from what I can gather, and I knew for the fact that this movie is of course really it really is something that I can't help but absolutely cringe at for sure. I really do think this film doesn't even know what it was going for sure, and I think the way they actually did it was, of course, pretty much it was so bad for sure. I just couldn't help but laughing embarrassment for sure, and let's not forget to mention, I think, I guess it is quite obvious that a lot like everyone else, I'm not really a big Jared Leto fan for sure, but I can't give him credit that he actually does find a way to make Michael Morbius actually work on his part for sure, though I think he's still hamming it up with, of course, the terrible script that's given to him for sure, and let's not forget to mention Matt Smith was a bit of a riot for sure, so, whew boy. But yeah, I guess if anything for what it is, I really don't know what the movie was going for sure, but like I said, the it's Morbin time meme, I guess that is one good thing that we actually did get off, of course, this movie by far. The rest, nothing much else. Number 5. Kraven the Hunter. Yeah, I guess it looks like pretty much one movie that I did actually see very recently. and it found its way onto this list for sure, so yeah, I guess if anything, given to what I've actually seen by far, I think I knew Kraven the Hunter, pretty much, I know it's another lesser-known Spider-Man villain, or probably a well-known Spider-Man villain that's pretty much been around for a long time for sure, and I think you can actually do something very creative for sure, and again, pretty much having it be an R-rated movie, I think will work well for, of course, Kraven, and I think it'll give us something passable. But this is anything but passable for sure, and yeah, I guess if anything, even looking back on this film, even though it's already out pretty much for a few weeks now for sure, and trust me, I think it's probably not going to be there longer given to, of course, the box office results for sure. Yeah, I guess given to all that, I think a new Kraven the Hunter is, of course, a very misguided movie, pretty much right from beginning to end. I really hate on how disjointed this movie is for sure, and I guess aside from, of course, pretty much Aaron Taylor Johnson and Ariana DeBose giving it their all for sure, the acting is, of course, still just absolutely terrible, and of course, even has Russell Crowe just grumbling through his performance. Yeah, it's almost like he's about ready to snap for sure because of yeah, I think it's pretty much I think he's feeling the same way that we are when he read the script to sign on board for, of course, this movie by far, and yeah, I think if anything, it really is very underwhelming that they really didn't utilize everything they did to actually make it look great for sure, and yeah, I guess for what it is, Kraven the Hunter really is pretty much a really misguided and terrible movie for sure. In fact, it's actually so bad that that literally killed off Sony's Spider-Man universe for sure, to which I definitely do think it's for the best. Though, speaking of which, if you think this movie and Morbius is bad enough, nothing could prepare you for, of course, the absolute worst one that I'm about to reveal next. What is it, you may ask? Well, let's get to it right now. Number 4. Madam Web. Dear God, am I really gonna have to go through with this again for sure? Yeah, I mean, I thought Morbius and Kraven the Hunter were bad enough. Yeah, just really terrible, god-awful pieces of crap that I've actually seen. But nothing, nothing could compare to Madam Web for sure. A lot of people are saying that this is the worst one they put out by far. And you know what? I actually agree, hands down. Yeah, I mean, what on earth were they thinking when they actually put this together for sure? I mean, really think about this, with, of course, this movie and Morbius and Kraven being bad enough. I mean, seriously, how come the only good thing I actually did get out of Sony's little lackluster of a cinematic universe devoted to every single Spider-Man villain is all 3 of the Venom movies by far? Yeah, I mean, say what you will about them. I mean, I didn't like the first Venom movie by far, but at least pretty much the sequels, Let There Be Carnage and The Last Dance, did pick up some things that actually, well, it did kind of leave me mixed reactions by far, but at least they did put in effort for sure, and yeah, even Tom Hardy actually did a good job playing Venom for sure. I think he did great for sure, so I don't know what was going on when they actually did the other films, and I guess it's no big surprise that I do agree Madam Web is definitely the worst one by far in this lackluster of a cinematic universe. I think with, of course, what they actually did by far, with, of course, everything that I've actually seen, Dakota Johnson pretty much not giving out a very solid performance as Madam Web for sure. It's almost like she doesn't feel very invested in, of course, all this for sure. And, of course, the terrible storyline, the sloppy writing, the bad acting from plenty of others, and yeah, and even everything else from what I can gather is just so stupid for sure. I I think with, of course, what I've actually seen, I think, pretty much, I know you have this, pretty much a bad guy, Ezekiel Sims, who is, trying to, pretty much, hunt down, 3 teenage, girls before, they become Spider-Woman, so that way, pretty much, yeah, he wanted to kill, them, just so that they won't, kill him in the, future. Like, why on earth, would you actually, do that? I mean, yeah, I mean, why on earth would he actually try to hunt down and kill 3 teenage girls before they can kill him in the future? I mean, they could call the cops for sure. In fact, if anything, yeah, if anything, I do think it could have been resolved a whole lot more quicker if he goes up to these girls and give them money and be like, yeah, please, for the love of God, don't kill me. And they'd be like, huh, okay. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many other ways around it for sure, But no, I think even if we did that, then we wouldn't have a plot for sure. And yeah, I guess give it to what I've actually seen by far. I could go on and on of how much I hate this movie to a core for sure. And I can agree with a lot of people, of course, what they actually have to say about this one for sure. I really hate this movie pretty much. When I first saw it on the big screen, I knew I was gonna hate it ever since I first saw the trailer for sure. I still hate it even to this day, and yeah, you definitely know your film is bad, that even the trailer actually gave out that massive warning sign that you knew it's going to be terrible by this infamous line.
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
Yep. I think that pretty much clears that up hands down, and I can already hear my mom as of now after playing that line for sure, actually screaming, "Quit telling everyone I'm dead!" Whew. But yeah, absolutely hate Madam Web by far, absolutely can't stand it, and I'm glad it bombed for sure, and yeah. I think it's what I can say, of course, that front, so next one. Number 3. Borderlands. Man, how can well-known director Eli Roth actually gave us something that is this absolutely crappy for sure? I mean, yeah, I guess it's quite obvious. For those who are wondering, I never really got into the Borderlands games for sure. In fact, I have heard good things about some of them for sure. But after seeing this movie, I think I pretty much know less about the games after seeing this movie by far. I think they really dig pretty much, they really dig a disservice, of course, the video games in its entirety. And with what I've actually seen by far, I guess from what I've actually seen, it really is quite terrible by far. I think pretty much going through a whole Guardians of the Galaxy type style for, of course, its story. I just don't think it actually blends in well with, of course, all this this movie for sure. And of course, on top of everything else, pretty much the acting in this is just god-awful for sure. Like, of course, you got Kate Blanchett trying to give it her all, and with, of course, the rest, Jamie Lee Curtis pretty much yucking it up for sure. Kevin Hart actually giving some terrible comedy for sure, and even Jack Black being absolutely annoying for sure, and oh, yeah. I guess if anything, with what I've actually seen, I think I knew hands down. I think I know less about Borderlands after seeing this movie by far, and yeah, given to what I've actually seen in the games, I think I pretty much, from my understanding, pretty much they did originally want to do it as a pretty much a full-on hard R-rated movie, and you know, I think that could have worked a whole lot better. Why can't you make it a hard R movie for sure? I think you have a whole lot of potential for sure. I mean, the video games have actually delved into that territory, so why not the movie? And let's not forget to mention Eli Roth. He actually does done a lot of good stuff in the past, some of which were R-rated for sure, and those turned out successful. So what the hell happened when Lionsgate stepped in, pretty much telling Eli Roth, no, we need to cut this down to retain a PG-13 rating for sure. Yeah, I really don't know what was going on for sure. I mean, yeah. As if I thought The Crow and Harold and the Purple Crayon were bad enough, I got given Borderlands for sure. And, you know, given to most of the movies I've actually seen in 2024 for sure, I wouldn't be surprised if I've actually filled up every single category at next year's Razzies coming up for sure. I wouldn't be surprised, of course, that front. And even if that does happen, then I'm already taking bets on knowing which one's going to win Worst Picture for sure. Because even I don't know for sure, so... But yeah, I guess for what it is... Yeah, as if I thought Harold and the Purple Crayon and The Crow were bad enough. Yeah, Borderlands came in and actually pretty much took that title away from those two. And given to, of course, what I've actually seen... You're really doing a disservice by far. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that. Next one. Number 2. Chaos Walking. Yep, looks like we're going the absolute lowest of the low by far, and yeah, man, I guess I can tell. I actually pretty much I did remember seeing it right around after I saw Raya and the Last Dragon as part of my double feature that I did, and part of me pretty much wants to understand for the fact that seeing how I did pretty much get off game my pretty much my COVID vaccine around that time. I think I almost kind of felt the headache and pretty much migraine that I did get the morning of after I got it for sure. Would have actually prevented me from seeing this movie by far. And yeah, I guess pretty much of anything. Pretty much I know for the fact that this movie has actually been in the works for a long time, but it's got pretty much pushed back multiple times for sure, and he's even got the reshoots right to the point where Lionsgate actually said it's unreleasable for sure. To which, I guess, given to all that, maybe I think it would have actually stayed that route for sure, because yeah, this movie was of course an absolute bore fest by far, and yeah, I think I really don't know what was going on when they actually made this movie for sure. And Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley, I have seen them in good stuff in the past for sure, and yeah, I guess if anything for Tom Holland, I think I would much rather see him in playing for good stuff, especially in his involving in all the Spider-Man movies by far. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but for Daisy Ridley, if I ever do want to see anything good from Daisy Ridley again, I'd much rather rewatch the Star Wars sequel trilogy for sure. But at least, yeah, at least if anything, she did give off a good performance, and of course, pretty much those 3 movies that I actually mentioned. Well, I guess for Chaos Walking, I don't even know what was going on when she actually was, of course, in this one for sure. In fact, yeah, and again, I think it does have some, pretty much from the original source material, it does have some good ideas they want to plug in, and I just felt it was just absolutely wasted from what I can gather in this very misguided mess of a movie by far. And yeah, even looking back on it now, I just couldn't help but really find this as an absolute bore fest for sure. In fact, the movie itself was so boring that around the time I saw it on the big screen, I nearly dozed off for sure. Yeah, that's how boring this movie is for sure, which I guess is pretty much the ultimate crime that you can actually commit for sure. And yeah, this movie really committed that crime very well for sure. That's pretty much what I can say on that front for sure. But yeah, then again, I already did talk about it a few years ago for sure, and yeah, Chaos Walking, yeah, I don't need to say anything else. It is, of course, absolutely, it is absolutely boring from what I can gather, so yeah. Alright. Now we're down to the last one for sure. And if you think any of the ones that I've actually seen are bad enough, nothing can prepare you for my ultimate pick of the worst movie I've ever reviewed in my entire life for sure. And that's amongst plenty of other bad movies I've actually talked about in these thoughts videos for sure. What you may ask? Let's get right to it. And the #1 worst movie I've ever reviewed is Cats. Now, where in fucking hell do I begin with this one? Well, I've got a lot to say about this for sure. Now, pretty much, if anything, as bad as all these other movies by far, we were kind of expecting that hands down. Pretty much when they actually put out Chaos Walking, you know for the fact that we were gonna get a boring sci-fi movie by far. And for Borderlands, pretty much a terrible video game movie that we got. Harold and the Purple Crayon, a terrible children's flick based on a well-known source material that is much better than the movie itself. And even Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven the Hunter, just terrible superhero movies that we can easily forget by far. And that's amongst plenty of the other terrible movies that I've mentioned earlier. But this god-awful piece of crap was supposed to be based on a well-known and, well, I wouldn't say very recognizable, but very divisive Broadway musical that's been around for a long time and actually made history. And yeah, this movie did make history, alright. But in the wrong possible way for sure, so yeah, and yeah, I guess as someone who is actually pretty much still loves the original musical by Fowl for sure, I would much rather go through that, and of course the 1998 direct-to-DVD flick again, rather than pretty much this movie for sure, because they at least knew what they were doing, and like I said, for the 1998 movie that they did, it actually is much closer to the original musical for sure. That I can at least stomach for sure. But for the sake of the 2019 Cats movie by far, yeah, this film was so bad, it just really irks me for sure. That alone is, of course, what really got me triggered by far. In fact, if anything, this movie really wanted to pretty much, yeah, I guess if anything, it wants to be like a powerhouse of a movie, something that we can love and admire. Fuck you for saying that. It's clearly not. So yeah, I think with what I've actually seen, I think pretty much, if anything, I think it really did a disservice of course, the original musical by far. I think with, of course, what I've actually seen by far, I think I could go on and on with, of course, with everything that's wrong with this movie. Like, of course, obviously Tom Hooper really is, of course, pretty much not giving it his all, and actually gave out such terrible direction for sure, despite what's actually been given. And of course the story is, of course, very misguided, and of course the musical numbers is, of course, a little yucked up for the time being, and of course the visuals and the effects. My god, the visuals and the effects. Where do I begin with, of course, this one? I mean, with what I'm actually seeing, I think pretty much, I guess if anything, pretty much having it, I mean, just having pretty much the visuals and the effects be like human cat hybrids. Are you fucked? Who does that? I mean, who on earth would say that is a good idea? I mean, why didn't anybody step in and say that, no, this is not gonna work, this is just absolutely creepy by a far. I mean, just really? This is what you're going for? I mean, yeah, and yeah, if you have seen the movie for yourself, and even with what I'm actually showing up by far, I think it is, of course, every definition of creepy. Yeah, that's probably the best way it can actually describe the visuals. And of course, this movie is just creepy by far. I mean, yeah. I guess if anything, where was this when any of this was actually made for sure? In fact, I don't even know what was going on when they actually made this one for sure. But yeah, I knew right away that I actually have to go into this one with low expectations for sure. And I think I knew this movie was gonna be bad, but I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. My God. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess even after all of this, yeah, and for those who are wondering, yes, I am fully aware it did gain itself a cult following sometime afterwards, so yeah, totally understandable for sure. So if you can like this movie despite how bad it is, that's fine, but for me, I just can't stand this movie for sure. I just absolutely hate this one right to the core for sure, so. But yeah. Yeah, I think it's what I can say for Cats for sure, and I guess if anything, did the people who made this movie, let alone Universal, have actually learned their lesson for sure? Well, I haven't actually heard anything from Tom Hooper after he directed this movie for sure, so I think it might have actually sunk his career for sure. While for Universal, well, I think I know a lot of people really didn't like Dear Evan Hansen for sure, but I can make the argument, even looking back after I first saw it on the big screen, after I got it on Blu-ray, I'll give it credit, it did do some things a little better than Cats for sure, so yeah, I mean, I know Dear Evan Hansen is not really a good movie by far, but at least it did actually give us something a bit more interesting for sure, so still kind of a mixed bag for sure. But thank God for a Wicked to come in to save the day for sure. At least that actually knew what it was doing for sure, so yeah, I think I would have much rather rewatch Dear Evan Hansen and Wicked again rather than singing through Cats again for sure, So yeah, you're trying your best to actually try to pretty much be like Les Miserables, and you clearly don't know how to for sure. So yeah, and of course, thank God I did get to see the actual musical Cats a few years after seeing this movie for sure. That alone is pretty much some really good therapy that I desperately need after seeing this god-awful piece of crap for sure, and yeah, even to this day, I hate this movie when I first talked about it, after I first saw it. I still hate this movie now for sure. And I guess giving it the #1 spot on this list is very well deserving, So yeah, and I guess on that thought alone, I think it'll pretty much do exactly that for sure. And boy, what an interesting ride it's actually been through for sure. I won't lie, pretty much going through pretty much all these movies again on this list is a good way to, of course, pretty much let out a bit of my anger for sure, and just let myself loose for sure. So yeah, I'm okay now. I'm okay, so yeah. I hope all of you guys actually really enjoyed it for sure, and yeah, like I said, if you like any of these movies, that's fine. Yeah, that doesn't make you a bad person by all means, so you can definitely like what you can actually like for sure, so. But I do want to know what you guys think. What are some movies that you have seen that are the absolute worst for sure? So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments down below for sure. I would love to know on what you guys think. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say. Of course, that front, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video for sure. And, well, I guess for the next one, I can definitely liven up some spirits for sure. So yeah, definitely tune in next time where I'll finally count down my top 12 favorite movies of 2024. So yeah, we've already got the bad stuff out of the way. We can now go ahead and go back to the good stuff for sure. So yeah, I've got a lot to go through, and I'm really excited to go over some movies that I really enjoyed for this year for sure. So yeah, but I guess until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TheThomasFan1 to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.